Good morning. It is 10:32 a.m. on Saturday, October 13th, 2018. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, I stayed up and ended up binging the whole of Netflix's new series, The Haunting of Hill House. If I could speak about it. So this is a 10 episode series, obviously timed for Halloween. And it is, although I've not read the original book, my understanding is a loose jumping off point style adaptation of the book by Shirley Jackson. And I haven't read that book, so I can't really comment on that aspect of it. But I have now watched the whole thing, and so what I'm going to go ahead and suggest is that I'm not at any point in this video going to get into specific spoilers, but if you would rather, but I am going to talk about my general impressions of the whole thing, including the ending, without describing what happens, but like, if you are really into it and you want to be able to watch the whole thing without having your impression tainted at all, or just affected one way or another, you should, forewarning that I'm going to talk about the ending, even if I won't describe like specific spoilers. What I'm going to say, to begin, is just that it looks very good. It's very good looking in terms of being well produced and having a cool aesthetic, and just the visuals and the design of the house and the look of everything I think is great. And so there's a lot to it. And what I'll say is that although I won't I was about to say that haunted house stories are not like my jam, but I don't know. I feel like they kind of are. I don't usually seek them out, but I often find myself thinking a lot about them. If you are detecting a hint of equivocation in my voice, I think it's because I watched the whole thing in one night, which tells you one thing, right? But some of my tone might tell you something else, which is just to say, without major spoilers, I feel like I loved this show most of the way through, and then feel a little bit like it kind of ran out of breath and stumbled a bit at the end. And that was disappointing and frustrating to me. Without getting into plot spoilers, it's a little bit hard to describe what specifically I was reacting to. But what I'll say is, of this series, it's a 10 episode series, and I'll say that about 8.5 episodes of it I like a lot. And then another episode worth I feel like is okay. And then there was the last little bit where I was just going, oh. Now, again, I was staying up late to watch it all in one go, and I think that there can be an aspect of, weariness, in accordance with that. Like, so maybe staying up late to watch the whole thing in one sitting was not the right move. Maybe that was not the way to gain the most enjoyment out of it. And if I had not been feeling tired and ready to go to bed, I might not have felt the way I did towards the end. But nonetheless, I did do those things, and I did feel the way I did towards the end, which is just that the compelling quality of the mystery and the horror elements of the show, which through most of it is very good, felt like it fell apart a little bit for me, and unfortunately it fell apart in kind of a way that sapped my retroactive appreciation of the earlier parts. Yeah, so again, it's hard to describe that too much more specifically without getting into spoilers, which I'm not going to do in this video. But so I guess my overall summary review of the show is that most of it is very good, but I feel like it falls apart a little bit at the end. All right. I will go ahead and leave it there for today, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes, where I will be continuing my rewatch of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Also, remember to check out my Extra Life campaign. I'm raising money to help children's hospitals. It's been a little bit of a slow start with the fundraising so far, and that's fine because we have a few more weeks before the big day. But I'm reminding you of the effort nonetheless. So you can find a link to that in the notes below, and I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.